Hi, this is Summer with Summer's Tips and Stitches, and this is the last video about the crochet along calendar, advent calendar from Crochet Society. I've completely finished it, which I don't think is too bad because according to my watch, this is still December. Obviously, if you've been watching the Vlogmases, every day I opened one of the drawers, and because of my life and my job and whatever, I really only got to crochet the squares on the weekends, usually Friday and Saturday. Then I'd catch up and I'd do the one on Sunday, and then I'd be back that next Friday after opening them all. I didn't get much crocheting done, obviously, from the 22nd through the 24th because we were up in Door County. And it was just a lot to bring that stuff up. But I did get it done. I thought I had finished all the squares. Now, this is where it got a little confusing. And I understand why Sarah Jane does it the way she does. So in this crochet along, you are given the pattern for a bunches of different squares, granny squares. Each day you would get a color or two. The first square was done in one color, and that was actually this square. And then the next day you would get another color. I want to say it was the heart one or something. I don't remember. And you would use those two colors to make another square. Now, there's a few squares that were repeated. So let's say, for example, in the first video, let's say video number 2 or 3, you would do like, let's just go off of this one here, this star here. And she would be showing you with the pink being the main color and the white being the contrasting color. Then a little while later, she would use that exact same video to show you how to do that square again. But this time you would be using different colors than what she was using in the video. And for most times that was fine for me. I don't know what it was, like on the internet, she would also give you the written pattern, which about halfway through, I really felt comfortable and I was able to read the chart. Because remember, UK terminology for everything is different, all the way down to skip or miss a stitch. What they call front post double crochet is something else. So anyway, I got really good at learning how to read her little chart. So she'd have the written out pattern, she would have a chart, and then she would list below that for this square, you need these hooks, because you rotated between a 3.5 or a 4, depending on the pattern. And then the main color and the contrasting color. So I'm telling you all this to say that I did all these ones at the top for the pink were fine, the pink and red. The blues started, there's a few new squares in this group. This one wasn't too bad. This one wasn't too bad. This one was new. They didn't have that in the pink. Did they have the stag one in the pink? No, they didn't. So that was new. This one was new for the blues. This one was a repeat, but it was easy to understand because you were making the trees. To be honest, I did much better in the blues than I did in the red and pink for that tree. But this is where things got a little bit hairy. I did okay with the blue hearts. These 2 rows, for some reason, I really messed up the color combinations, particularly because the colors names didn't necessarily make sense to me. Like this dark color, I think was eclair, and then this was fudge. So because sugared almond, which, you know, I'm not saying, I mean, they do the best they can when they're naming these colors, but it got confusing to me to what color was actually what. And then it got confusing to me because the tutorial was using completely different colors. Even when I looked at the chart, I noticed one of them I did completely backwards, because the lighter color on the chart, they would use 2 tones. The darker color was the contrasting color, and the lighter color was the main color. But the yarn was actually the opposite. The darker shade was the main color, and the lighter shade was whatever. And so I ended up using the complete. So all of that to say, these last 2 rows, these last 2 browns rows are not at all completely right. I think this one's right. I think that one might be right. This one obviously was solid, and there's a funny story about that one. But down here, I think it got a little hairy. But you know what? That's okay. We survived. I finished it. It looks good. The funny thing is, when I thought I was done, I went to go lay them out, and I was like, huh, I think I'm too short. Well, I am short, too short, but I mean, I'm at 2 short of the number. So then I looked through, and I realized that I had forgotten to make this one. So I went through and remade this one, and I thought I had not made this one. This one here, the warty one. This is the white warty. This is the pink warty. To me, these just look like warts. But anyway, so I was like, okay, well, I got to quick make it. So I went to go make it, and I kept running out of yarn. I didn't have enough sugar or toasted almond or whatever it is. And I'm like, I am never going to get this done. So then I came up with this square, which is the same pattern. As you can see, they're warts. But because I was running out of this white square, I ended up doing this striped. And I'm like, I'm just going to have to use it. It was upsetting me. I must have done this like 5 times, because at first I wanted the bumps, the popcorns, to be in the light color, but I didn't have enough of the light color, so then I'd have to frog it out. And then I wanted every other row to be, you know, a color, but then I didn't have enough. So I have 2 in the middle, and I rotated a couple, and then I ended 2. Anyway, so I went round and round. I just got done blocking this. And then last night when I went to go lay them out, sure enough, I found the one square that I thought I was missing. So then I didn't have to use this square after all. Joining them together, it's the first time I ever joined a granny this way. There's 2 ways that I have joined granny squares. One of them is a single crochet, which is fine. It leaves that kind of a ridge through. And, you know, on some blankets, if you like that, that's great. And I have a really beautiful blanket that I made a long time ago with a flower type granny square. I'll see if I can dig around and find the old videos and link it. And I joined that with a single crochet. Then I had found this seamless way of joining 2 pieces of fabric that didn't leave the lump. But it's this really complicated way of using, you have to use one of those metal Boy or Susan Bate ones, the one that don't have the handle, because you end up moving the hook in and out and hooking something on the back. It's and I actually do have a video on that. I'll link that in the description. If you ever want to be able to join and you don't want to have the ridge. Now on this one, she has us joining with a slip stitch, and there is a slight ridge, but it's on the back. And on this side, you can see the ridge, but on this side, it's completely flat. So this is the first time I've ever done it this way. There is quite a bit of yarn left over because I didn't do any of the mini makes. So I have a little bit of this left. And then this is my bowl. I have some of this eclair left. Almost a full square skein of the gray and the red. Mostly a blue. Oh my God, I love this. This one is one of my favorites. And then I have all these little ones in here. I plan on using, oh, this one is kind of sizable. I plan on using these little balls. If you remember the leftover yarn, you know what? I might just go get it. I'll be right back. Behind me, right there, is the crochet blanket from last year. And these are the yarns that I had left over from that. I put in just this plain little baby blanket. And then down at the end, I have some colors left over from the subscription box. I think it was called The Fair, where you made that little lion. Wherever he is, I've lost him. These colors down here at the bottom come from there. So I'm going to use these little balls and do a row or 2. This is my Bella Coco scrap GAN. It's because these yarns are different than anything that I've found in the United States. So I just been adding. It's just a little lap blanket. It's, you know, looking good. I think the colors are looking good with each other. And it's just a cute little scrap blanket. So that's what I'm going to do with those leftover ones. These other ones here, these mostly full skeins, maybe I'll make some amigurumis with them. Or maybe I'll come across a pattern that I want to use these little 100 gram skeins with. I don't know. I haven't a plan with them yet. So that, I mean, so I have a sizable amount of leftover yarn from this cowl. I really do recommend, if you have the money, because they are kind of spendy. I want to say with shipping and handling, it costs about $80 to get this box in the mail. But I love it, and you know, and I feel like I can justify it because I make the YouTube videos with every drawer. And the other thing is, it kind of forces you to try new techniques. The new technique that we learned in this, and I don't remember what she called it, was a process of, and you can kind of see, of holding using two strands of yarn at the same time and not cutting them off. So typically when I do color work, I've done things where I've cut the yarn and then woven in the ends and then moved to a new one. This one, the yarn is hanging around between the stitches. So you're crocheting around the red, and then you pull it out to use to make the heart, and then you pull the red pink and you use the pink, and then you pull up the red. And so, I mean, it is an interesting strategy. There's some squares where I like the look of it better than others. And then there's others where I think it looks real sloppy. And there were some very interesting techniques, like when you slip stitch to join around, and then you have to chain up 3 to get started. Sometimes you'd be starting on a contrasting color. So then you would have to chain up 2 in one color, slip stitch into, or bring in the new color, pull it down, chain 1, and you're just doing this weird thing. And here you can kind of see where it looks kind of, you can kind of see the other color in there. I just didn't love it. To me, it looked kind of sloppy. Right here, you can see this tree is where a lot of those color changes were happening. Like, I think this tree over here looks really good, these bottom ones, but this tree here is just funky because of where the colors. And some of the patterns, it came out fine and it didn't matter at all and it came up beautiful. But and then others, you can kind of see this wonky area. But I do, you guess what, you guys, this is not going to deter me. Next year, when she comes up with the advent calendar, on the first day, I'm going to sign up and ship it out to America. I love it. As you all know, I'm completely obsessed with, I think her and I would be best friends if we'd met in real life. We love the same colors. We love the same thing. I mean, she's tidier than me, I think. Her crochet corner probably doesn't look, I mean, you see all those pictures, and anyway, I love her ideas and her color schemes and the things that she does. I'm obsessed. Respectfully, I would never be like weird about it. Okay. I just buy all her stuff, every single thing. So until I figure out what to do with these extra skeins, I'm going to pop them in here. Now, the very exciting thing that I have coming up, I'm going to leave as a surprise. Now, in the back burner, I had gotten these pattern packets from Hobby Lobby when I was shopping with my sister. And I thought, oh, you know what might be cute, Summer, if you make all of the patterns in here and have a cute little set. So I had started that. I finished this dish towel. And I was getting started on the trivet, or the coffee rug thing. And I was going to make everything. I have enough skeins of yarn to do maybe 2 placemats, 2 trivets. I've got the coffee towel. Shockingly, this pattern is nowhere to be seen. You're going to have to go online to get that. And then I was going to make these. This is knitting with color work, and I've never done that. But then I have another project that just fell into my lap, and I am completely thrilled to do it. The other thing that I had started was I got this yarn, some Hobie yarn from, I want to say Marlene, and I really love the colors, but I'm just hating, I'm using the Twinkle Shawl pattern for Hershner. I'm just hating how the colors are falling together. Maybe it's too long. I don't know. Maybe my tension is off this time. So I'm going to frog it and try to find something better to use those colors with. So I was working on that for a few days, and now I'm going to frog that. So I'm going to frog that project. I'm going to put the Hobby Lobby brochure pattern on hold. And then I am going to actually, as soon as this video is done, I am going to get started on this very surprise project. Hopefully I can finish at least one of them. Today is the 30th. I go back to school on the 3rd, the morning of the 3rd. So you guys, I am just thrilled. Oh, I'm so excited. I need to get one done for the kids in my class. And once I get cracking on this surprise project, I will let you guys know. But I'm gonna shut off this video now. I am done with my advent calendar, and I love this blanket, and it's gonna sit on my lap while I crochet, because down here in the basement it's chilly, especially when my husband's in the workshop area. He leaves that door. This is like the finished part of the basement, and then this whole basement is the same size of our house. And then there's this one room, which we could make a bedroom because it does have a closet, but it has an entry door right here from the upstairs. And then it has a door over there into the unfinished. And that area is so cold. So I get chilly down here. Just pop up my Chromebook. I watch a few videos. Lately, I've been watching Mama Llama Kayla as she's been going through her Advents. And so I've been really loving watching her. And then I've been watching a little true crime. I'm sorry to say. I don't know what's so horrifying about it that I can't stop. But anyway, that is what I'm doing. And I'm so excited that this blanket is done. It's so beautiful. So I'm going to shut off this video and get started on my surprise project. Thanks for watching and subscribing. Thanks for liking and sharing my videos. And until the next video, happy crafting. Bye.